Hey guys, welcome to Daddicated vlog episode 3. In this video, I want to share a story of how I got scammed by an eBay buyer. But before I start, I wanted to give you another book recommendation. Current book I'm reading right now, it's called Boundaries. I'm about halfway through. It's I think it's an 8 or 9 hour long book. Quick summary of the book. It's basically about, well, it's pretty straightforward, boundaries in terms of relationships with your friends, your family, your spouse, your kids, and how a lot of people having relational problems, it's because their boundaries are not set, especially for those that always say yes to everybody or everything. It's an issue of boundaries because they don't know how to say no. But anyway, very interesting book so far. A little hard to listen to because it's just there's a lot of meat in it. So I'm trying to take my time with it. But overall, it's not too bad. Anyway, so the story with the scam was I was selling mostly phones at that time. This was a few years ago. And I had a batch of iPhones that I bought. They were a little bit older. A lot of them were either locked or damaged or had some stuff. And I think I had like 22 left over. Some I sold, some I just didn't want to deal with them anymore. And I was trying to get rid of my inventory and kind of getting tired of selling altogether. So I wanted to sell it as a lot. So I put it up and it sold. And I would make sure I wrote a clear description of what's wrong with each phone, and basically provide all the information in the description of my listing. So I sold it for about $1,000. I shipped it and packaged it pretty well. Had no problems with it. But I think like a couple days later, after the guy receives it, he claims a return. So I was like, oh, great. And I read his message or his reason for the return, and he basically claimed that that they weren't working, or some generic weird reason. And it's like, well, yeah, I told you that they're not working. It's in the description. I told them exactly what they were wrong. But if anyone, for those of you that are not familiar with how eBay works, it always takes the buyer's side. So you don't really have a chance to even fight the return. They automatically accept it and expect the buyer to ship the product back to you. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll resell it to somebody else and I'll go through this process. I'll lose money probably on the shipping process, but whatever. It's part of doing eBay. You run with these types of buyers on occasion. And anyway, so a week goes by, maybe a week and a half, and I still haven't received anything. So I was like, I wonder where they're at. And I kind of actually forgot about it. And around the same time, I get some weird stuff from Amazon. One was some bamboo sticks, like plastic bamboo chopsticks. I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. So I figured, maybe it got sent to the wrong address or whatnot, or I don't know, which was weird because it was addressed to me. Anyway, and then the next day, or even that same day, I also got an iPhone case, but it was for a different iPhone. I didn't even own that size iPhone. I don't remember if it was a bigger size iPhone or if it was a previous version iPhone, and neither did my wife. So I was like, that's weird. Because my initial thought was, well, maybe my wife bought those. But then when I checked my purchase history on Amazon, I didn't have those items. So I was like, all right, well, that's really weird. So sure enough, a couple days goes by, and I look into, I check in my eBay again, and I remembered about the return, and it's showing up as delivered. And I was like, what? And I talked to my wife if she's seen the phones, and she's like, no, nothing came. So I was like, uh-oh. And right away, something clicked that, that those Amazon items had something to do with it. Well, the way eBay works, when you're the buyer and you're returning, you have an option to get the shipping label from eBay. Or if you buy your own shipping label, you have to put in a tracking code in there. And once the tracking number is in there, it trusts that that's the item and it's gonna get delivered. So the weird part was when I checked the tracking that they provided, it said it was from Houston, that it came to me and got delivered from Houston. And I sent it to like Indiana or Illinois. It was like completely different address. So, and there's a big warehouse, Amazon warehouse in Houston. Unfortunately, I threw away my packages for those two items, so I couldn't compare the tracking numbers. But right away, I'm like, he's scamming me. He sent me the products that he bought under my name to generate tracking numbers. So first time, he probably couldn't get a USPS tracking number because Amazon uses a lot of times their own shipping, which is a different tracking system. So that wouldn't work on eBay. And then so he bought another cheap item, which generated a USPS tracking number. So he used that tracking number and entered it into eBay. And eBay was satisfied, so because it showed it that he shipped it. So basically, I ended up calling eBay and telling him the story, what happened, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. Blah blah blah. You have to wait a certain amount of time or whatever." So I waited like a week. Nothing happened. Again, I called them again. They reassured me again, not to worry about it, and then eventually the thing got processed. So I called them again. So at this point, basically their request was I had to file a police report with my local city, which doesn't make sense, but I guess if I'm willing to go all the way to that, it shows them that I'm legit, Anyway, so I ended up contacting my local police. The cop came over to my house. I showed him all the stuff. He wrote a report. I scanned that report and sent it to them. It was just a headache, honestly. And then only then eBay refunded my money. But what sucks is like the guy still got away with my phones and he got a refund from eBay. So eBay basically took a hit and they gave their money to me, but they didn't do anything to the buyer, which kind of blew my mind, because it's like, dude, this guy's probably gonna be scamming other people and you're not gonna prosecute him, you're not gonna try to go after him, he's obviously done this probably multiple times. So dealing with eBay, it's got its ups and downs, and those were definitely the downfalls, is dealing with scammers on the buyer end. Obviously there's probably scammers on the seller end as well, but anyway, that's the story. So if you want to hear about my story on how I got caught selling counterfeit cell phone cases, check out in the links below or in the cards. Let me know what you thought. Give me a thumbs up, and maybe leave a comment about maybe if you had a scamming story with eBay. I know I have a few more coming up, so be on the lookout. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.